Hey everybody, it's Norris from the Norris Group. It is Thursday, November 9th. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, November 10th, so we're doing this a little bit early. Speaking of, thank you veterans for your service. We really appreciate your service to the country and all that you've done to afford us the awesome freedoms that we do. And with that, what do you think about real estate and augmented reality? That and much more as we cover the biggest headlines in real estate. On the radio show and podcast this week, we've got the final version of I Survive Real Estate Part 7. This is one of my favorite parts where they're all up on the stage talking about solutions. They talk about upcoming tax changes, the black swan events they're all worried about, what excites them about the year ahead, and what Bruce himself would really like to see change. So don't miss that this week on the radio show and the podcast. Despite lagging home production, 197 out of the 337 metro areas are now at above normal levels that they saw before the downturn. The nationwide score for the National Association of Home Builders leading home index increased to 1.03, putting the nationwide average at 103% based on permits, price, and employment data, so things are looking up. So how many of these 8 household items do you still have hanging around in your house? I'm judging. I'm totally judging. Realtor.com tells us there are no more bars of soap on the counter, big puddled curtains, so not cool, bed skirts, psst, yeah right, and who the heck still uses tablecloths? Well, maybe during the holidays, maybe a table runner, more classy, right? Of course. We don't use batteries or powdered detergent anymore, and those huge entertainment sisters, you know, the oak ones with the round corners, or maybe the huge home office, gone. Well, plastic covered sofas didn't even make the list this year. They're so out of date. Call it the HD TV effect or just the sign of the times. Things are changing. Just don't be caught dead with those in those pictures for your listings. Airbnb is partnering with San Francisco's largest landlord, Veritas Investments, and tech startup Pillow, which works with renters that want to sublease their apartments while following landlord and city short-term lease agreements. So I didn't even know this was possible, so this is a pretty cool story. Veritas owns more than 200 buildings, but they are going to start with 5. Veritas owns more than 200 buildings, but they will start with just 5, and those buildings will be the units inside the buildings will be listed on Airbnb. Veritas, for that, will get 10% of the profit in the exchange. Pillow will be in the mix for those 5 buildings and will be making it easier for renters to sublet their space, so renters and the landlord all get a piece of the action. So Veritas CEO Yatpen Yao says Airbnb and Pillow can help our residents with economic empowerment and could further differentiate our properties. So it's a play with the landlord wanting to stand out. Renters are going to be able to lease their apartment out. Maybe if they're an artist or creative and they're touring, or maybe they get a tech job on the East Coast and they want to move, they can rent out their apartment here. And it's actually pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Well, all is not rosy for Airbnb, unfortunately, and another huge real estate giant, Aimco, is asking a court to stop Airbnb from enabling tenants to illicitly sublet their apartments. So the other side of the coin. Residents at the Palazzo, and I lived right across the street for 2 years there in LA, so I know exactly where this is at. This is one of Aimco's communities where the penthouse rents for something like $17,000 per month. It's complaining that tourists are overrunning their pools and gyms and committing late night party fouls. This is the community that's right across the street from the Grove, if you're familiar with LA. Aimco is arguing that Airbnb does a lot more than just provide a platform for property listings and should be held accountable as a broker of short-term rental agreements and processor of payments. Airbnb spokesman Nick Papa said, forward-thinking landlords are embracing home sharing, but Aimco is continuing its decades-long war on the middle class. Wow, shots fired, and we'll have to see how this pans out. Millennial home buyers are sending chills through the residential real estate market as home ownership starts to increase for this very important demographic. Yes, they've been holding out, not wanting to buy, but you know what? With raising increase and maybe they're wanting to start a family, those housing needs change and they're getting off the fence. Well, in the third quarter of this year, ownership increased to 63.9%, and this is up from only 63.5%, so I think the story is actually a little bit funny. But the whole point of the story is about if rents are going to go down. They're suggesting that maybe as it softens and more people go to the buying market, that rentals will be left behind, but I don't think that's true. We'll have to wait and see. Check out Trulia's map to see if the housing market has a bump or a slump from Trump. Well, according to Trulia, unlike the stock market that has gotten a boost, the housing market has not. Some areas such as building permits are showing signs of improvement, while others such as values, construction values are slumping in some areas. Statistics on the housing market were based on the following 5 factors. Number 1, the number of building units per 1 1,000 households, which that would obviously be locked down if there's not a lot of building able to be done because you're landlocked. 2, the valuation of those permits. 3, housing price appreciation. 4, rent appreciation. And 5, percentage points change in residential vacancy rates. Augmented reality is going to be huge in real estate. Don't get it twisted, this is not the same as virtual reality, and hopefully you know the difference if you've been watching me. Augmented reality is where you're looking through a lens or some kind of glass and information is coming up on the screen, where virtual reality is when you're completely out of the real world, you've got the glasses on, you're completely immersed in another world. Well, imagine all your furniture that you look at it, it's measured, and a picture of it is stored in maybe a Google Glass or something, and as you're walking a listing, all your furniture is being virtually put into the place of a new home. You'll know if it fits, you'll know if it looks good, if it's going to look right up against that hideous green that they left up wall color, who knows? But virtual and augmented reality could very well potentially change the entire real estate game when it comes to staging, design, decor. It's going to be really fascinating. I would love to know what you think. What do you think are some of the best ways that augmented reality will be used in just the next 5 years for real estate? If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat. If you're on Facebook, please don't forget to not only like the Norris Group page, but don't forget to add us to your See First list and with notifications on. Leave your comments below the video, and if we miss something, share the story on our comment sections on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll make sure to include it on our blog at thenorrisgroup.com/blog. November 13th, that's just next Monday, you'll catch me doing technology trends and effects on real estate out at LA South RIA. So if you're in the Torrance area, would love to see you out there. Other than that, I don't think we have another speaking engagement till December, so you have to catch us on the radio show. For more information on hard money lending, including fix and flip, buy and hold, and new construction starting at just 6.9%, check out thenorrisgroup.com. Or if you want more information on passive investing with us, check out tngtrustdeeds.com. With that, have a fantastic Veterans Day weekend, and we'll see you next week.